The 5 most dangerous ingredients hidden in your everyday foods. Worse than sugar. Channel introduction. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is your go-to place for building long-term wealth and living a genuinely healthy and fulfilling life. Because here is what we truly believe. Your health is your very first and most important form of wealth. So alongside smart money strategies, we talk about the lifestyle choices that protect the most valuable asset you will ever own, your body. Video opening. Alright guys, before we get into today's video, I want to give you a quick challenge. Look at these everyday products sitting in millions of American homes right now. Oreo cookies, a jar of Jif peanut butter, a bag of microwave popcorn, a pack of hot dogs, and a container of sugar-free sweetener. Now you have 3 seconds. What do all of these have in common? Go ahead and think about it. If you guess sugar, you are actually wrong. And that answer right there is exactly why this video matters so much. Because if you think sugar is the worst thing in your daily food, you have not yet looked closely enough at the ingredient labels. Today we are going to expose 5 hidden ingredients that are far more dangerous than sugar. Things that are quietly sitting inside foods you eat every single day, many of which have already been banned in other countries, and yet are still completely legal and unregulated here in the United States. By the end of this video, you will never look at a food label the same way again. Let us get into it. Chapter 1. Hydrogenated oil. The ingredient originally made for candles and soap. Here is something that is going to genuinely disturb you. One of the most common ingredients found in packaged cookies, crackers, microwave popcorn, and store-bought peanut butter was not originally invented as a food ingredient at all. It was created in a factory lab to make cheap candles and industrial soap. And yet, for decades, it has been hiding inside the foods that millions of Americans eat every single day. That ingredient is hydrogenated oil, also known as partially hydrogenated vegetable oil or trans fat. Here is how it is made. Manufacturers take cheap liquid vegetable oil and pump it full of hydrogen gas under high pressure inside a laboratory setting. The result is a thick, solid, shelf-stable fat that never goes bad, is completely resistant to bacteria and mold, survives extreme temperatures, and costs almost nothing to produce. If you left it out on a counter, no bacterium or fungus in nature would touch it. But millions of Americans are eating it every single day, usually without knowing it. The reason food companies love hydrogenated oil has nothing to do with your health and everything to do with their profit margin. Butter is expensive. Real fat goes bad quickly, but hydrogenated oil is cheap, extremely shelf-stable, gives cookies and crackers their satisfying snap and texture, and keeps products like peanut butter from separating. It is the perfect industrial solution until you realize what it does inside your body. The science on this is damning. A landmark study from the Harvard School of Public Health concluded that hydrogenated oil, specifically the trans fats it produces, is responsible for roughly 50,000 premature heart attack deaths in the United States every single year. Not globally, just in the US. When you consume hydrogenated oil, it does not behave like natural fat in your bloodstream. It functions more like a slow-moving cement. It builds up inside your arterial walls, calcifies, and progressively narrows the channels your blood needs to flow through. This is what triggers sudden, catastrophic heart attacks in otherwise healthy people with no prior cardiac history. On a toxicity scale, if refined sugar scores a 5 out of 10 in terms of long-term harm, hydrogenated oil scores an 8.5. And here is the crucial thing that should alarm every American watching this. The FDA did take action and technically banned partially hydrogenated oils in 2018. But the loopholes are enormous. Products that were manufactured before the ban can still be sold. Small amounts are still permitted in many processed foods. And many companies simply renamed it on the label as edible vegetable fat, modified vegetable oil, or shortening, which most consumers do not recognize as the same thing. So here is what you need to do starting today. Every time you pick up a packaged product, turn it over and read the ingredient list. If you see the words hydrogenated oil, partially hydrogenated oil, edible vegetable fat, or shortening, put it down. Oreo-style cookies, store-bought pie crusts, microwave popcorn, many peanut butter brands, and even some products marketed as healthy snacks still contain this ingredient. Do not let the front of the package fool you. The truth is always in the ingredient list on the back. Chapter 2. Excitotoxins INS 627 and INS 631. The flavor chemicals that hack your brain. Alright, now let us talk about something that is going to completely reframe the way you think about cravings and self-control. Have you ever opened a bag of Doritos or Cheetos with the genuine intention of eating just a few chips, and then looked down 20 minutes later to find the entire bag empty? And you felt a weird mix of shame and confusion, wondering why you have absolutely zero willpower around these foods? Here is the truth, and it is actually liberating once you understand it. You did not fail. Your brain was chemically hijacked. Let me explain how. Back in 2015, there was a massive public controversy in the United States about MSG, which is monosodium glutamate, a flavor-enhancing chemical. Parents, doctors, and health advocates raised serious concerns about its effects on children, and public pressure forced many companies to quietly remove it from their products. They started putting "No MSG added" right on the front of the package. Consumers felt relieved. Problem solved, right? Not quite. What most people never found out is that the same food companies that removed MSG simply replaced it with two different chemicals, INS 627 and INS 631, which when combined, create a flavor-enhancing effect that is 10 times more powerful than MSG alone. They achieved the same brain-hacking effect while being able to legally print "No MSG" on the label. That is not a coincidence. That is a calculated move. So what exactly do these excitotoxins do? The name itself gives you a hint. In medical literature, excitotoxins are defined as chemicals that overstimulate neurons to the point of cell death. In simpler terms, they directly bypass your blood-brain barrier and completely override your brain's natural satiety signaling. That is the signal your brain sends that tells you, you are full. Stop eating. With excitotoxins in your bloodstream, that signal does not fire properly. Your brain keeps telling you to eat more, even when your stomach is already full. That is not a willpower problem. That is a neurological override being done to you by a chemical you did not knowingly choose to consume. Beyond the brain hijacking effect, there is another deeply serious health consequence. Medical journals have documented multiple cases of patients who regularly consumed products containing INS 627 and INS 631 and developed sudden, severe gout attacks. Gout is a condition where uric acid crystals form inside your joints, causing extreme pain and difficulty even walking. The connection? These two chemicals cause dangerous spikes in uric acid levels inside the body. These are not fringe cases. They are documented in peer-reviewed medical literature. So where are you finding INS 627 and 631 right now in America? Look at the ingredient lists on Doritos, Cheetos, Lay's flavored chips, Top Ramen, and Maruchan instant noodles, many flavored seasoning packets. And here is the one that will really catch you off guard. Products marketed explicitly as healthy alternatives, like certain flavored rice cakes, baked snack chips, veggie straws, and even some clean label snack brands, still use these chemicals because they are legal, cheap, and brutally effective at making you reach back into the bag. Some companies combine both chemicals into a single compound called INS 635, which is the combined version of the two, and sometimes list only that single code on the label, making it even harder for the average consumer to identify. The action step here is simple. When you pick up any packaged snack, check the ingredient list for the numbers 627, 631, or 635. If you see any of those numbers, you are holding a product designed to chemically override your self-control. Know that and choose accordingly. Chapter 3. Polysorbate 80, INS 433. The emulsifier that damages your gut lining. Here is a basic science fact that most of us learned back in middle school. Oil and water do not mix. No matter how hard or how long you shake them together, the oil always separates and floats back to the top. Now think about your favorite store-bought ice cream, your bottled salad dressings, your packaged sauces, and your flavored creamers. All of these products contain both oil and water, and yet they stay perfectly blended, creamy, and smooth, even after sitting in your fridge for weeks. Why? It is not magic. It is not an expensive cooking technique. It is a chemical called polysorbate 80, also listed on ingredient labels as INS 433. And while its ability to blend oil and water is industrially impressive, what it does inside your body is genuinely alarming. On our toxicity scale, if refined sugar is a 5 out of 10, polysorbate 80 scores an 8.5. And the reason comes directly from some of the most respected peer-reviewed medical journals in the world, specifically studies published in the journals Nature and Gastroenterology. Here is what the research found. Inside your gastrointestinal tract, there's a thin but critically important protective layer of mucus that lines your intestinal walls. This mucus layer is your first line of defense. It prevents harmful bacteria, toxins, and other pathogens from crossing into your bloodstream. Think of it like the protective barrier layer in a high-security facility. When that barrier is intact, everything is safe and functioning properly. Polysorbate 80 essentially acts like a detergent inside your gut. The same way dish soap cuts through grease on a dirty pan, polysorbate 80 strips away this protective mucus lining. What happens when that barrier is compromised? Harmful bacteria and undigested food particles that should stay inside your digestive tract can now leak directly into your bloodstream. This condition is called leaky gut syndrome or intestinal permeability, and it has been linked to a wide range of health problems, including chronic inflammation, autoimmune conditions, IBS, IBD, food sensitivities, skin issues, and even mental health disorders. Here is the analogy that really lands. Imagine someone poured a single drop of dish soap into your glass of drinking water. Even though it is just one tiny drop, you would absolutely refuse to drink it. The concentration of polysorbate 80 in processed foods is similarly small. But small does not mean safe, because it only takes trace amounts of this compound to begin eroding the mucus lining that protects your gut. Where is polysorbate 80 showing up in American products? Most major brands of commercial ice cream, many non-dairy coffee creamers, bottled salad dressings, packaged whipped cream products, certain brands of chocolate milk, and even some products labeled as no sugar or light. Because removing sugar does not automatically mean removing harmful additives. The broader point here is important. You can eat a technically low-calorie diet and still be causing serious harm to your gut microbiome and intestinal lining through ingredients like this one. Weight and calories are not the only metrics that matter when it comes to what you put in your body. Gut health is foundational to immune function, mental clarity, energy, and overall longevity. Protect it. Chapter 4. Maltodextrin, the zero sugar scam that spikes your blood sugar harder than sugar itself. Alright, this one is going to make a lot of you genuinely angry. And honestly, it should. Because this is one of the most widespread and sophisticated deceptions currently happening in the American food industry. And it is directly harming the health of millions of people who are trying to do the right thing. Here is the setup. Walk down any grocery aisle, and you will see products everywhere with bold claims on the front label. Zero sugar, no added sugar, diabetic friendly, keto approved. These claims are designed specifically to attract health-conscious consumers who are trying to reduce their sugar intake, manage their blood sugar, avoid diabetes, or lose weight. These people are making a genuine effort to be healthier, and the food industry is exploiting that effort in a deeply cynical way. Here is how the scam works. Many of these zero sugar and no added sugar products contain an ingredient called maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is a white powder derived from cornstarch, and it is used as a bulking agent, a texture enhancer, and a cheap filler. In a typical packet of a popular sugar substitute, like Splenda or Equal, roughly 99% of what is in that packet is actually maltodextrin. The artificial sweetener itself, which can be 600 times sweeter than sugar, only makes up about 1% of the packet. But because that 1% provides such extreme sweetness, and because maltodextrin has just under 5 calories per serving, the product can legally be labeled 0 calories under current FDA regulations. The 5-calorie rule states that any product with fewer than 5 calories per serving can legally call itself calorie-free. It is a loophole, and food companies exploit it aggressively. Now here is the critical problem. Maltodextrin has a glycemic index of 110 to 136. For reference, refined white table sugar has a glycemic index of 65. That means maltodextrin raises your blood sugar roughly twice as fast and twice as high as regular sugar does. If you are a diabetic, pre-diabetic, or someone carefully managing your blood sugar, consuming maltodextrin is not a safer alternative to sugar. It is actively worse. You are experiencing a more severe blood sugar spike than if you had just consumed the sugar you were trying to avoid. But the harm does not stop there. A 2012 study in medical literature found that maltodextrin acts like a biological adhesive inside your gut, specifically attracting and allowing harmful bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella to adhere to your intestinal walls much more readily. Researchers, after reviewing multiple independent studies, concluded that the dramatic rise in IBS, IBD, and leaky gut syndrome cases over recent decades has a significant connection to the widespread use of maltodextrin across the processed food supply. Where is maltodextrin hiding in American grocery stores? Inside virtually every product labeled zero sugar, no added sugar, or sugar-free. From diet sodas to protein bars to meal replacement shakes. It is in many popular breakfast cereals marketed as high fiber or heart healthy. It is in flavored instant oatmeal packets. It is in certain health drink powders. And it is even in some supplements and vitamins as a filler ingredient. The action step is this. The next time you see no added sugar or zero sugar on the front of any product, do not trust it. Flip the package over. Find the ingredient list. If maltodextrin appears anywhere in that list, that product is not the safe, healthy alternative it is being marketed as. If you want real sweetness without the blood sugar damage, reach for small amounts of honey, pure maple syrup, or jaggery. Real, natural, minimally processed sweeteners are always better than lab-manufactured chemical substitutes. Chapter 5. Sodium nitrite, INS-250. The carcinogen in your deli meat that who put in the same category as cigarettes. This is the most serious one on this list, and I want you to really pay attention here, because this information could genuinely save your life or the life of someone you love. Quick question. If you walked into a grocery store and saw 2 packs of hot dogs side by side, one of them was a dull grayish-brown color, and the other was a bright, vibrant, fresh-looking pink, which one would you reach for? Almost universally, people choose the brightly colored one. It looks fresher. It looks better. It looks safer. But here is what nobody tells you at the deli counter. When real meat cooks or ages, it turns gray or brown. That is what meat actually looks like when it is real. That bright, fresh pink color in packaged hot dogs, deli slices, sausages, salami, bacon, and pepperoni, that color is not natural. It does not come from freshness. It comes from a chemical called sodium nitrite, which is listed on ingredient labels as INS-250, and that chemical is the most dangerous ingredient on this entire list. On our toxicity scale, if refined sugar is a 5 out of 10, sodium nitrite is a 10 out of 10. A perfect, devastating score. Why? Because in 2015, the World Health Organization reviewed over 800 independent medical studies conducted over several decades and formally classified processed meats containing sodium nitrite as a Group 1 carcinogen. Group 1 means confirmed to cause cancer in humans. The same category as cigarettes, asbestos, and plutonium. Not suspected, not possible. Confirmed. Here is the mechanism. When you consume sodium nitrite and it encounters either the natural stomach acid in your digestive tract or the high heat of a frying pan, it chemically transforms into compounds called nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are potent DNA mutagens. They directly alter the genetic code inside your cells, and this DNA mutation is what triggers colorectal cancer and stomach cancer. The epidemiological data is stark. Researchers found that eating just 50 grams of processed meat per day, which is roughly 2 or 3 slices of deli meat or 1 average hot dog, increases your risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. You might be wondering why people do not get sick immediately if this is so dangerous. The answer is that sodium nitrite is a slow poison. It accumulates in your system. It does not cause a single dramatic event. It causes microscopic changes to your cellular DNA over months, years, and decades. By the time the cancer develops, the connection to the processed meat has been long forgotten. In acute, high-dose cases, Sodium nitrite is a recognized oxygen blocker. It converts the hemoglobin in your red blood cells into a form that cannot carry oxygen, effectively suffocating you from the inside while you are still breathing. In extreme exposures, blood can turn from healthy red to dark chocolate brown as oxygen transport collapses entirely. The international response to this science has been significant. France's parliament passed landmark legislation to ban nitrates and nitrites in processed meats in order to protect future generations from cancer. The UK has been actively tightening regulations. In the United States, while sodium nitrite remains legal in processed meats, the FDA has faced increasing pressure to restrict it, and public awareness is growing. Despite all of this, sodium nitrite is still widely present in most major American deli meat brands, packaged hot dogs, pepperoni, salami, bacon, breakfast sausage links, and many canned meat products. Food companies use a standard justification that it is necessary to prevent bacterial growth and food poisoning. The more honest truth is that it preserves the visual appearance of freshness in meat that is days, weeks, or even months old. The action step here is straightforward. If you consume processed meats, look for products that explicitly say uncured and no nitrates or nitrites added on the label. These products use natural celery powder or sea salt for preservation instead, and while they may look less vibrantly pink, they are dramatically safer. Better yet, choose fresh, unprocessed protein sources whenever possible. A grilled chicken breast, a can of wild-caught tuna, a handful of walnuts, or eggs from a local farm will never appear on a WHO carcinogen list. Summary: today we exposed 5 hidden ingredients that are lurking inside everyday American foods, all of them significantly more dangerous than sugar, and many of them already banned or heavily restricted in other countries around the world. Hydrogenated oil, still hiding in countless packaged snacks and baked goods, silently clogs arteries and kills tens of thousands of Americans from heart attacks every year. Excitotoxins INS 627 and 631, disguised behind no MSG labels on chips and instant noodles, chemically override your brain's ability to feel full, making addiction to junk food not a character flaw, but a neurological manipulation. Polysorbate 80, the emulsifier in ice cream, dressings, and creamers, strips away the protective lining of your gut and opens the door to leaky gut syndrome and chronic inflammation. Maltodextrin, the dirty secret inside virtually every zero-sugar product, actually spikes your blood sugar twice as fast as real sugar while hiding behind a legal technicality on the label. And sodium nitrite, the chemical that keeps your hot dogs and deli meat looking pink and fresh, has been formally classified by the WHO as a Group 1 carcinogen in the same category as cigarettes. The food industry designed all 5 of these ingredients to work slowly, invisibly, and over long periods of time. These are not ingredients that make you sick overnight. They are slow poisons, accumulating quietly inside your body while you remain unaware. The most powerful thing you can do right now, today, is simple. Read every ingredient label before anything goes into your cart. Your future health is being decided in those 15 seconds standing in the grocery store aisle. End credits and sign off. Alright guys, that wraps up today's video. I genuinely hope this gave you some real, actionable information that you can use the very next time you walk through a grocery store. Knowledge is the most powerful health tool you have, and now you have it. Here is what I want you to do right now. Go to your kitchen, grab the first packaged food you find, flip it over, read the ingredient list, and drop a comment below telling me what you found. I want to know. This community holds each other accountable, and that matters. If this video brought you value, please hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to know what is in their food. And if you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Share this with someone you care about, a parent, a spouse, a friend who is working hard to eat better. They deserve to have this information. Remember, your health is your first wealth. Protect it like it is your most valuable asset, because it absolutely is. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.